Blackmagic have blown us away with a heap of 2110 new products here at NAB 2026. There's new Fairlight Live as well. Hi, this is Paul from OnAir with another tech take, and we're going to have a VIP stand tour here from Dan.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Dan with Blackmagic. We've been really busy this show. It's been incredible, great feedback, and tons of new products. So let's get into it.
Okay, well, we're particularly interested in the 2110. We do a lot in broadcast, and you just keep expanding the range out.
Yeah, definitely. It's a complete overhaul, really, of some of our live production workflows. You know, we've obviously been very successful. People are putting together trucks and vans, doing fly packs. This is one of the first times I think people are really looking at the solution as a true 24/7, 365 based solution.
Yeah.
And the first giveaway is, of course, the new redesign. Seeing this new ventilated front to back.
New panels look really nice.
It looks stunning, and it's obviously going to indicate to everybody that this is made for that kind of very robust usage, something that we're going to leave running all the time. Not only is that cooling from front to back just going to help with all the thermals, but it's incredibly quiet because it's just keeping everything cooled all the time. So even if I am putting it in a truck, it runs very, very quietly, so no one will actually notice these aren't really loud devices. So first indication is just the visual cue of that front to back cooling.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the big technology development is the SMPTE 2110 over 100G.
Yeah, so 100G is brand new.
100G is brand new for us, at least, right?
Yeah.
We've been doing 10G work for a while with the SMPTE 2110, and that's great because we're just using basic Ethernet cables to go around and have the advantages of using that as a data packet transmission of video.
Yeah.
The advantage of doing with 100G is obviously we now can run on our specific devices, we're running 8 channels. So now we can run multiple frame rates, multiple resolutions of 8 channels, be it in or outs on those. So super simplifying the cabling solution. So if we start looking behind all these single cables, doing 8 channels going across there, obviously they have the ability to have that high frame rate or high resolution there. And we feel like that's really an important development for us, because not only for this cabling and workflow of handling across that, but when we start looking at our other cameras like the 12K with 100G out, or our Ursa Cine Immersive Live, you know, those are things that need that high data rate. Not everyone needs that, but combined with the other boxes, we have a complete work here for this 100G workflow.
So it really opens you up to that sort of full broadcast live sports events.
That's exactly.
All those sort of high-end events.
Yeah,
now.
and you know, these are obviously different types of products. These aren't necessarily an add to cart and just buy one of. These are things that are going to take some amount of design work. Hey, I want to do an ATEM. That's great. What happens if I have SDI? Well, now I need that SDI expander box. Think of it like a breakout box in order to integrate SDI.
Yeah.
What if I have 10G already within my system? Well, now I need the 10G studio bridge to be able to connect. So there's lots of pieces we've done across the HyperDuck, across the media docks, across the we have the new Ethernet switch for 100G. You know, we have to basically update
in that size box there.
Yeah, in that size box. We know what, but again, you only need so many ports because each of those ports are carrying 8 channels.
Yeah.
And then we have the redundancy on there as well. So we have actually 2 100G ports. And the best part there is, unlike copper, if one cable fails, we fail over to the other copper. But because these are sending data packets, it's smartly looking at each packet. So if a packet drops, it knows to just grab the other packet, and it's constantly analyzing those 2 streams. So again, a full lineup. We had to do all these products to make sure we showed a complete workflow, but then also show the robustness and the development that we've put into these products as well.
So 100 gig right here on the back as a fiber SFP?
Yep, pretty simple. Like, these are 2 cameras that basically already existed. People are familiar with our 12K Ursa Cine LF format. It's the same camera. The big deal here is we've added that 100G on here to be able to have that high throughput going on there. Because now we're talking about using these cameras in a live environment. So using that amazing 12K sensor that we have, the ability to use that in different resolutions, but using the whole sensor. It's all the same technology that we talked about there, but now going up to 220 frames per second. This is going to be great for things like replay, things for beauty shots. Maybe not every camera in the stadium is going to want these, but being able to have these as an option and having that 100G output is going to allow it to have that throughput that can now work into the workflow that we've built on the back end for the pipeline.
Yeah, I can see this being really popular in again, those sort of broadcast sports events, but I guess studio as well?
Yep, definitely could use in the studio. That's why we've made this new Ursa Cine Studio viewfinder. This is our new viewfinder, very familiar to the last viewfinders that we've had for that kind of studio work, but some updates there, a touch screen, a nice addition to be able to use this in a studio environment as well. And similarly, this kind of ties into the Ursa Cine Immersive Live. We've had the Ursa Cine Immersive going out there, creating content for the Vision Pro. Same idea, it's the same camera, but now with that 100G output, now we can start doing live events. And of course, being able to do live events is really compelling for the Vision Pro. You know, there's only so many times I want to go in and do an Excel sheet with the Vision Pro on, but if I can go and watch sport and watch that all live and immersive, that's a tremendously compelling thing that both Apple and ourselves find wanting to address. And these kind of cameras are going to help with those solutions. So Fairlight Live is our new free software that anyone can go ahead and download, and it's in beta right now. And the important thing to understand here is that Fairlight Live is about being able to do broadcast quality audio. And people who are familiar with Fairlight and Resolve has known that Fairlight has been for post-production audio work, right? I'm doing something for film or television or something in post. Fairlight Live is what it sounds like. I'm taking live audio input and I'm adjusting that, doing all of the various, dealing with the audio, and it's also going back out again. Now, the one thing from watching the earlier responses is people thought this was only for ATEMs, because that's the way we demoed it, as actually being an ATEM audio tool. That's not actually the case. It can work with ATEM audio, but really it sees any audio I/O on the computer, and we'll go ahead and use that to be able to do the processing through Fairlight Audio, Fairlight Audio Live. Now, the panels themselves are just a panel. They're controlling the software. Okay. This is not the brain. The brain is the remote. It is just a remote thing to be able to control. So there's two different things to be looking at here. There's the, hey, I can use the software and I can really use it today because I can put it on the audio machine that I was already using and using the I/O that I already had and start working with the beta today. And then if I want to attach a hardware panel, that's where these Fairlight Live audio panels will come into play.
Yeah, and great to see Fairlight, Aussie brand from way back, in good hands in Blackmagic, and that's some phenomenal new stuff.
Phenomenal, and again, just being able to step into this live audio is something that was in Fairlight's history. When we moved to put it in Resolve, we had to stick a whole application into a post-production software. So we basically trimmed off the live capabilities in Fairlight. So to be able to revisit that now, kind of go back and harken back to the abilities, the live abilities of Fairlight, really exciting. People are downloading it like crazy.
Yeah,
so
I can imagine.
We're looking forward to getting a lot of feedback and then getting these panels out into people's hands.
Fantastic, thanks Dan. So the full range of Blackmagic products are on our store, but if you need to get deep into 2110, you're going to need some help from us. So contact us for a custom solution at onair.au.